Dave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi guys, how you doing?
What's on your mind?
This past Saturday, over the weekend, you guys had a show. It was a topic about name calling. You guys had some rapper who was talking about like name calling and blah blah blah. If somebody calls
Shaquille
me a name, I
O'Neal
will go after them.
he was actually kind of making fun, making faces, basically imitating somebody with a serious debilitating disorder. That's what he was doing. I don't know if he called him a name, but that's basically the equivalent of.
He didn't know that was the case, but that's that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, because people actually make fun of me because of my disorder, and I can't stand it, because they say, oh, this, that, blah blah blah. So if somebody makes fun of me, I'm gonna go after them full force.
Haven't you
Go
ever
after
heard?
them.
How's that working for you?
It hasn't working.
Well, it's horrible. I don't like it. I don't like the name calling.
I don't think you understood your question, Mark.
Okay, let me try one more time,
Mark.
Dave. So, Dave, you've been calling in.
He's been calling for probably
months.
a year. I don't know when Dave started calling, but it seems like it's been a year since we heard from Dave the first time. And he called about the same issue in the very beginning of when he called Free Talk Live, that is, he was upset at people making fun of him online. So clearly, it hasn't stopped.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the point I'm trying to make on this is that, I know for at least a year, and certainly I've been able to see your videos going back for years. This has been a complaint of yours that somebody will make fun of you, and for whatever reason, and then you get upset and you're gonna say lots of things to them in order to change their mind. And what I think, in fact, you have done is quite the opposite. You've achieved the opposite of what you are trying to achieve,
What do you
which
mean
is to
opposite?
the opposite of getting called names is not getting called names. You want to not be called names. You are, however, have people on the internet that actually come to where you are. You'll be posting in a forum and that kind of thing. They'll figure out you're in that forum. They will come there in order to call you more names. And the reason
they get a reaction.
Yeah, they do that.
I plan on stopping that because I do not like being called any names.
I hear you.
How are you going to do it?
I'm 100% clear, Dave.
How are you going to stop it?
Well, hold on. I know you want to be. I know you don't want to be called names. I'm telling you the best way to not for people not to call you names is to just ignore morons.
Well, it's kind of hard,
Yeah.
Because they do on Craigslist and they do on Zello. With Zello is a walkie-talkie.
Nothing worth doing. Very little, Dave, worth doing in life is easy. Yeah, it can be difficult to ignore people when they're heckling you or being very rude. And I can't say I'm the best at it. Like the guy that was laughing at us at the fair booth, I said, "Hey, what's the inside joke?" I was honestly wondering what he was laughing at, and I would have liked to have gotten the feedback from him. But somebody came by later and was very, very rude, and I'm not going to engage with them. I'm not going to waste my time with them, and I'm certainly not going to use violence against them. What is it that you're proposing to do differently, Dave, than you've always done, which is, to continue interacting in these forums, the Craigslist, the Zillow, the wherever it is you hang out? You continue to interact with these people. So how are you going to change that?
I want to be a well-liked person. I want people to understand me. I want to have a girlfriend, like a normal life, just like you guys do. I do not want to be made fun of. People call me names, call me this or that, blah, blah, blah. I can't stand it, so I go after them. They totally, piss me off.
Well, but that doesn't work, does it, Dave? Because you've gone after them for years.
It may be decades at this point. I mean, I imagine you're probably somewhere near 30 years old. Is that about right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and you probably have been, getting when people made fun of you in school, you'd swing back and make a big deal about it. This has probably been your coping mechanism for 30 years, and what you have failed to see up to this point is that your coping mechanism, in fact, is so flawed it achieves the opposite of what you're hoping to do.
Mike in Saskatoon, you're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Mike.
Hi, guys. Hey, I'm kind of responding to that last caller. He said something about how he feels the need to be liked or he needs people to like him. And this is a problem that I used to have where I felt people had to like me and I had to make them like me. And it caused a lot of problems in my life. It caused me to not be able to be a genuine person. And I pretended to be something I wasn't. And it caused a lot of problems. And, I got arrested about 2 years ago for a crime that is not good. It had a victim, and it's from something about 10 years ago. And I realized since then, to my family, I am hardly any of my family speak to me, but very few of my friends speak to me now.
Wow.
Things like that. And I realized I just can't make people like me anymore. But it's also something I don't need. I don't need them to like me anymore. I had to change where I got my well-being from. I couldn't get it from the approval of friends and family, because especially now that my secret came out, I had to totally change how I find happiness through a lot of therapy, and help with that. But does that make sense?
No, I totally agree. I mean, seeking people's approval is one of the worst ways to live, because if you have to change yourself, or if you're trying to masquerade or pretend as though you're someone you're not, if you're looking to build your life around the goals of others and what it is that others are expecting, you become their tool. I mean, you become, this thing that just exists for their benefit. And it's okay to want to help people. It's okay to want to, help improve people's lives, offer products and services, and your companionship to, enhance people's lives. But to do things to seek their approval, I think, is a really detrimental thing. And there's a lot of people who do this with their lives. And I think that's one of the reasons why those folks might be very unsatisfied. Because if you're not doing things for yourself, if you're not doing what puts you first, then you're living for someone else. And at that point, what's the point of living?
And exactly, and especially during my marriage, it became a huge problem because I couldn't connect to my wife in a genuine way because I was always pretending, I was always hiding who I really was, and all those sorts of things. And then eventually I left her and all these things. But
of course you did. She wasn't married to the person she thought she was married to, and and you also wasted her time with that too, right? Because if she was looking for a certain person with a certain viewpoint or value set or whatever, and you weren't that person, then that's not a good thing either.
Yeah, I think this is a very brave call.
I liked it. Mike, I don't know what you did back in the past, but I hope you're not doing it anymore, and I wish you the best. Thanks for the call tonight. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Some of us have to learn the hard way, Yeah. Toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. Do what is right for you, and then you will attract to your life the people who appreciate you for you. It's Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.